Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Rosenswie, and tonight I'll be presenting to you about the issue of Asian carp invading the Great Lakes. Now, can I have a quick show of hands of who fishes in this class? Anyone fish? Okay, so about a fourth of the class. Okay, good. So here is a basic overview of what I'll be going over with you tonight. First is our class survey out of 18 submissions. What are the 5 Great Lakes, which I really wouldn't think would be that hard, but I was surprised. What are Asian carp? Where did they originate? What will happen to the Great Lakes? What will happen to us? And how can we fix this issue? So, as I said earlier, this class survey was from 18 submissions. And my first question was, I thought it was a pretty basic question, was, are Asian carp native to North America? And almost 6 out of 10 people put onshore. Now, I'm no biologist, but I know they're an invasive species, so I'm going to say they're probably not. So, what were the intended uses of them? Only 22 source of food / eat algae, which is actually the correct answer, so kudos to those 22.2% of people. Environmental influences affected by Asian carp will affect me. How can you be neutral? Well, apparently 44 out of 100 people were neutral, but that's beyond me. And the same amount of people were correct about naming the Great Lakes. So less than 9 people in our class know what the names of the Great Lakes are. One person put down not applicable, so I have no idea. First time, I've never heard that one. So, and then the last question, will the Great Lakes and its current ecosystem be affected by Asian carp? I was happy when I saw this number. So, I'll put that up. So, for those 9 people who didn't know, there is no lake called Lake Tahoe as a Great Lake. There's Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario. And on this map, guess what? We're right there. So Lake Erie is, less than an hour and a half drive away. And if you can't even know what Great Lake that is, I'm very, very worried about that, because what is that, like 4th grade geography? So, that gets me into this topic. What are Asian carp? Well, there actually isn't one species of Asian carp. There's technically 4 that fall in this category. And they're known as big-headed silver, black, and grass carp. And you can see there's pictures of all these species of carp. And as you can see, if you could draw a line from the end of its mouth to its tail, its eye is lower than halfway of its body. Same way with the silver carp, same way, kind of, with the grass carp and black carp, but not as significant as these 2. So these are the 4 big images of Asian carp, or what the 4 species are. So the first species is big-head carp. They can grow to be 4 feet long and 110 pounds. Now, any fish around this area that weighs over 110 pounds is like a world record. This is its almost peak average size. Not many fish around here grow to be that big. They have been found in almost 20 states out of 50. So that number is growing because all these water basins are connected. And like silver carp, this species of carp can jump comparably to silver carp. So for some of the people who actually knew what Asian carp were, you probably get a rough idea when you see videos of them jumping out of water. Well, they get startled by boats, people splashing in water, rocks are being thrown, anything you can know, they get startled, up they go. Here's a picture of a black carp. They can grow up to be 5 feet long and weigh up to 150 pounds. They also have pharyngeal teeth. They're like human molars. They pretty much break up if they're trying to eat anything that has snails, clams, any type of mollusk that has a shell. These things are gobbling them up. They're like underwater pigs. They're not fun. They are found in Russia, China, and now the Mississippi River. So that's not a good thing. Now the next topic is grass carp. Now they like very warm water. 77.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is extremely warm around this area. And from this map, they can be found in 45 states. There's only 5 left in the whole country that haven't been affected by it. And they're also one of the very few species of carp that can tolerate salt and fresh water, known as brackish water. So these things are like indestructible. They're everywhere. Look, there are even 4 out of the 5 Great Lakes. That's not a good thing. And finally, here is the silver carp. This species of carp, just like the big-head carp, will jump out of water when they're startled. They're found in the Mississippi River and the basins of the Great Lakes. And also, these fish can grow to be 3.5 feet long and weigh almost 60 pounds. And I'm no sizeologist, but that is a big fish. And here's another picture. And here's the Mississippi River. Guess where all their basins come from? There is pretty much the Mississippi River, all the branches. And guess where we're at? Right there. You see that line? That's water. That means they could get to us eventually. So where did these fish originate? They were brought to the southern United States from China in the mid-1970s. And they were used for commerce and fish markets, so people could sell them as fish. But they were also used to take control of algae and parasite growth in these aquaculture farms. The only problem is, though, in the South, almost everything is below sea level. And when floods happen, it all goes to the lowest point of water, in this case, the Mississippi River. All this water floods, all these fish go right into the Mississippi River, and all chaos breaks loose. So what will happen to the Great Lakes ecosystem? Not only will it cause extinction of fish, but also types of shellfish like clams, different types of crabs like crayfish. Destroy native fisheries. All the fish that used to be there, yeah, they're gone. You won't see them. Try to raise a fish that can outweigh and eat themselves 40% of their body weight a day. That's what these Asian carp do. And not only will it destroy all of these fisheries, but it will drive every other organism that was in its equilibrium in that ecosystem out. So they come in, everything else goes out. So what will happen to us? Did you know that there was a $7 billion fishing industry in the Great Lakes? That's a lot of zeros. So everything that is affected by us, because we're right here, is going to affect us in the long run. Economy, from the government, everything, just pretty much the trickle-down system. And all these lakes have sport fishermen on them, but they also have fish hatcheries. So what's the point of raising fish if they're going to be out-competed by these Asian carp? So in the end, it's going to hurt us no matter what we do. So how can we help fix this problem? So how people said who are fishermen, they usually get like a booklet about what to do when they go fishing. So if you have a boat and it's in Asian carp infested waters, they usually want to get rid of all the water from that boat so it doesn't transfer anywhere. Then if you get bait fish from those same areas and you keep them, that's not a good thing, because if you take those and put them into an area that has no Asian carp, you just invaded that new species with this new species. So not good. So hydroelectric dams, people don't think of them as like really, they're just like energy providers, but they block water flow. And when it blocks water flow, it blocks these things. And become informed of the issues that are come up with the environment, because the more you know, the better that you are around the area. Oops. And more importantly, people have seen Parks and Rec. They know who this person is. This is Ron Swanson. So I would leave you with a quote. Give a man a fish and feed him for a day. Don't teach a man to fish and feed yourself. He's a grown man, and fishing's not that hard. In reality, fishing isn't all that hard. If you can learn how to fish, you can help solve this problem. Again, just be informed about all environmental issues that arise, because in the end, you can help make a difference. Thank you.